What's up? What's up? Periscope. How's it going? You guys ready to finish this, get your cash buyers, sell some properties? What's up? Where you guys coming in from? There's my chair around here. First time here. Sweet. Congratulations. Hey, what's up? What's up? How's it going? Well, it's about 115 in Arizona here right now. And that's why I'm inside. I head to California in about a week. What's up, Vegas? What's up, Vegas? Realtor. Houston, Phoenix. So you know Phoenix. It is bloody hot here. Dallas, Texas. South Florida. What's up? Colorado's in the house. Texas. Yeah, I know. Got to get out of here. From Dallas, Indianapolis, Massachusetts. Sweet. Florida, love Florida. I was just in Florida. Orlando. Holy Toledo. But here's the money. Here's where the money's at. Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. Who wants to go to Hawaii? California, Miami, Sacramento. From Las Vegas. Sweet. All right, so if you're joining for the first time, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Dallas, Corpus Christi. Actually, that's one place I've never been, was Corpus Christi. I definitely want to go there. If you've been here if this is your first time joining me, this is part 3 of a 4-part series. We're finishing part 4 tomorrow. Is Vegas a good market? Vegas is a great market. Vegas is like Phoenix. A ton of investors go there, so it's a pretty hot market for sure. Vegas rocks. So for sure. So this is part 3 of a 4-part series, specifically on how to make $5,000 in 30 days or less, flipping houses. What are bad markets? Well, I don't know. I mean, the overall general market in real estate right now is inventory levels are low. And if you have low inventory levels, then it spurs a buying frenzy. And if liquidity is easy to obtain, then there creates demand for real estate. So all we do is look at inventory levels, and our current inventory level across the country right now is actually pretty good. Now, some markets you could be in an area where, like St. Louis, down in the Detroit area, could have issues. I don't know because I'm not there, but what do you say on the phone to a seller? How about I do this for you? Here, and here's all the tweets I'm going to show you here in a second. This right here is my simple strategic seller script. So you're wondering what to say. I was watching your YouTube video on this, this morning. Cool. This is my simple strategic seller script. And if you are watching on YouTube, then this is live via Periscope. Go download the app via Periscope so you can watch this live. Actually, simple seller script. It'll tell you exactly what to say to a seller. You can get it at www.flip2freedom.com/free stuff. Free stuff. Dallas market's on fire right now for sure. Part 3, the first one we went through exactly how to deploy marketing and get your phone to ring with motivated sellers. That was part 1. You can go to, let me show you a site. Check out. So this is Flip2Freedom.com. This is my main site, Flip2Freedom. And I host the Ultimate Real Estate Investing Podcast. Maybe you guys are watching this on iTunes right now on the after replay. But this is Flip2Freedom.com. It has everything here. And if you scroll down, you can see there's part 2. And here's part 1. And we have all the information there and exactly how to pull a list. A motivated seller, what list to market to, I give you the script to talk to the sellers. I tell you the mail piece and how to mail them. So I give you all that. So the goal for you is to deploy marketing as fast as possible to get calls coming in from motivated sellers. If you get calls coming in from motivated sellers, then you can go on an appointment with a motivated seller and then get a deal locked up. So in part 2, which was yesterday, we talked about what to bring on an appointment with the seller and what to say, how to negotiate. I actually gave you a free tool, which was my free comps calculator. It's a free comps calculator, and you can get that. Basically, you put the low comps in right here. You put the low comps in, you put the high comps in. It gives you an offer calculator, spread amounts depending on what price you sell at point, and then actually a repair calculator. Is pretty ninja, but you can get that at you can go to Flip2Freedom. You can get it into any one of these right here. Let me go to here, and you can just go to here and this part 2 right here. And you can click into it, and you'll be able to download that for free. With all the hearts, yeah, exactly. So you can download that for free. And with that, okay. So today, what we're going to talk about okay. So you got the property under contract, right? So you've done your marketing, calls came in, you talked to a seller, you booked an appointment, you went on an appointment, you met with the seller, you now have the property under contract, okay? You have it under contract. Now the next step, right? Now that you have it under contract, what do you do next, okay? It's incredibly important. So what we're going to talk about now is specifically what to do next. So I got my list here. After you sign the contract, so we're going to talk about how to, first off, open up escrow, because you got to open up escrow. And then you want to get eyeballs to the property as fast as possible. Cash buyers. I'm going to show you a couple tips, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you a ninja tip that's just, it's awesome to get the phone to ring with potential buyers, which is pretty killer. We're going to talk about how to show the property, because what happens when a buyer calls you, a cash buyer calls you, their first thing is going to see, okay, great, how can I see the property? That's going to be their first question. And having access to the property, we're going to talk about if it's vacant, what do you do? If it's tenant occupied, what do you do? And then if it's owner occupied, what do you do? That's incredibly important. A lot of people completely get stumbled up when a buyer says, hey, I want to look at the property. And then you're going, oh, well, how do I do that? And you don't, and you don't know how to deal with the tenant or the owner occupant. You're afraid that the buyer is going to talk to the seller, There's positioning, and positioning correctly is incredibly important. Then we're going to talk about negotiating with the buyer, what to say, how to say it, and then should you use a purchase contract or an assignment. So we got a ton of stuff to cover today. It's going to be awesome information. We're also going to talk about the 1K giveaway. Okay, and let me screen real quick here. If I go here. Here are the rules, the entry rules for the $1,000 entry rules for the giveaway. So you're going to follow me on Periscope, share the broadcast. So if you're on iTunes right now, you can flip to the right, slide to the right, and you can share this broadcast with your followers. Okay, so you got to share the broadcast. You got to follow me on Periscope, and then tweet about the show using hashtag Flip2Freedom. So those are the three rules to get to the $1,000 entry. Now check this out. Here's all the people that have tweeted so far. Right? We've got 10. This one right here, Team Network right here. We've got Yusuf, you got Steeris, you got Daniel, you've got Milton, Robert tweeted about it, Barrett tweeted about it, It's Me Brad tweeted about it, Robert Brown the third tweeted about it several times, Gerald, Jeremy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these guys that actually tweeted about it, and what's going to happen is I'm going to pick one of them, and see if they actually are following me on Periscope, and then share the broadcast. And if they have, then I will send them a $1,000 cashier's check. If you're on Android, all you got to do is just flip up. And you can share the broadcast. If you're an iPhone, flip to the right. Rules for the for the $1,000 giveaway. I'll give you a t-shirt too, a Flip2Freedom t-shirt, which is pretty cool, and I'll send that to you via FedEx. And then you just got to tweet a picture about it, which would be pretty cool. All right. So, for you guys that don't know what the heck I'm talking about, wholesaling houses, my name's Sean Terry, Flip2Freedom.com, host of Flip2Freedom Podcast. Also have in YouTube, and you've done it all 3 times, you haven't won anything? Well, hey, there's lots of people, you might win something now. There you go. I'm picking the winner tomorrow. Okay, the winner's being picked tomorrow. So this is number 3, right? So this is out of four different episodes we're doing. This is at the 4th episode we're picking the winner. I'm not picking a winner every single episode, just the last episode, which is tomorrow. So, but what I'm looking for is people that have shared the broadcast, follow me, and are on Periscope. Okay, pick you, of course. All right. So, like I said, if you're listening for the first time, my name's Sean Terry, Flip2Freedom.com, and I host a podcast. I teach about wholesaling. Wholesaling houses, just keep trying it. Wholesaling houses is where you market for a motivated seller, you get a property under contract, and then you market for a buyer, a cash buyer, and what the cash buyer will do is fund the entire transaction. Okay, and I showed specific transactions and how that works and how deals that we've done. But the bottom line is let's say you market for a motivated seller and you get a property under contract for $50,000. Let's say the house is worth $100,000. You get a property under contract for $50,000, and you turn around and you put it out to the market for cash buyers, which we're going to be talking about today, and you get a buyer that comes along and says, "I'll give you $60,000 for the property." So you got a contract with a seller for $50,000. Now you have a contract with a buyer for $60,000. What happens is the buyer is going to wire in 100% of the funds, okay? 100% of the funds. I got to go plug in my phone. One sec. We're gonna be talking, and the phone's gonna die because I said I had 10% battery left, so I better plug you guys in. Hold on one second. All right, I'm going to try to do this eloquently. I wish they had the plug on the side or something like that, because this is funky. All right, I'm kind of crooked. This thing is all messed up. All right, whatever. Anyway, so the bottom line is that the buyer will fund 100% of the transaction. He will fund 100%. In doing that, right, will allow you to make the difference in between. So the buyer has $60,000. He wires in $60,000 to a title company, escrow company, or a closing agent, of which $50,000 goes to the seller. So they're excited. They get the deal done quickly. They don't have to pay any real estate commissions, closing cost fees. They don't have to fix up the property. And you get the difference in between, which is $10,000. Now, the cool thing is you can do that, this thing's sliding, over and over and over again, all the time, right? And you can do it once a month, twice a month, 10 times a month. We got guys who are doing it 10 times a month. I do 15 to 20 properties a month here locally, here in Phoenix, and all across the entire country, which is great. No, I don't think you should stay away from REOs. REOs are a great source, but by far, I would say, working directly with motivated sellers, you can get the absolute best deals, and you can get super deep discount properties where you can make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a deal. Okay, so all right, so let's get into what the next one. So you've marketed for a motivated seller. You use the list that we targeted, the mail piece that I gave you. You use the script talking to the seller that I gave you. And now that you talked to him on the phone, you set an appointment, and then you went on an appointment and used the contract that I gave you to write out the contract. Now you have the deal. You've negotiated with the seller. You got a property under contract. Now you're excited. You're like, what the heck? I got a property under contract. You're boom, right? You can't wait. Now, what do? You got to go, holy cow, I've got to open up escrow. So what you're going to look for is a closing agent, a title company, an attorney that is investor friendly. Okay, that's an investor-friendly title company that will allow you to do one of two things. This is two ways to get paid as a wholesaler. Number one, you can get paid by a double escrow, or what's called a simultaneous close, a back-to-back close. That's when the buyer funds 100% of the transaction. In our example, the buyer wires in $60,000, of which $10,000 goes to you, and $50,000 goes to the seller. So we're using 100% of the buyer's money to fund all the closing costs, all the title fees, fund all the sellers and your profit out of the deal. We're using 100% of the buyer. That's what's called a double escrow or simultaneous close. Now, some cities, some states, some counties, it's difficult to find an investor-friendly attorney or closing agent or escrow company that will do that. So the alternative is do what's called an assignment. An assignment is where you sell your contract for a fee, and that fee is $10,000 in this particular case. So you sell it. So we're looking for an investor-friendly title company. A couple ways you can find that is go to the local real estate investment clubs in your area, right? In those local real estate investment clubs, typically you can ask, I just swallowed that wrong. You can ask around, right? And you can find a local real estate investor friendly title company, talk around. A lot of times they're even at these events. They're even at these local real estate. The other thing too is network with other wholesalers. How do you do that? Is find other wholesalers in your market. You can Google them, and you can find wholesale properties, Dallas, Texas, and you can connect with other wholesalers and ask them if they have a closing agent, or you can do what I did. What I did is I didn't have any connection with the real estate clubs. I didn't have any connection with the other wholesalers. So I just got on the phone and I started calling. I said, hey, do you do a double escrow? And when the one lady's like, no, we don't do it. Click. Do you do a double? And I called 20 different closing agents. And there's a closing agent here locally. And this was back in 2003 when I first got started. And her name was Barb Bass at Metro Title. Metro Title no longer exists here in Maricopa County. But I called her up and I said, hey, I'm brand new to real estate. I was wondering if you do a double escrow or an assignment. And she goes, oh yeah, we can do that. No problem. Why don't you come in and we can talk and I can show you how to structure the deal. So she actually educated me and taught me how to do it. So I went in. And I went in and met with her, and she gave me an idea of how the transaction and what the process to work. But you will have to search to find a good title company. Another way to do it is go on Facebook, go on some different wholesaling groups, and ask there if anybody can recommend a good investor-friendly closing agent for you, and then proceed that way. So you got to find a good closing agent. You're going to have your contract now. You're going to bring it to them, and you're going to ask them to open up escrow. And what they're going to do is what's called a title search on the property. They're going to make sure there's no liens or judgments or mortgages, and if there are mortgages, they're going to order payoffs. They're going to make sure that the person selling the property is a legal right person to be able to sign the documents, and they're the legal owner of the property. They're going to coordinate all that. The title company, closing agent, or attorney, they're responsible for all the documents and all the money. They're responsible for all that stuff. So the cool thing for us investors, we can just get the contract and then give it to the title company and instruct them we want to do a double escrow or an assignment, and they will handle all the paperwork thereafter. Okay, they'll handle everything after that. And the cool thing is now you can just focus on your next step, which is finding a cash buyer as fast as possible. Now, typically in the purchase contracts that you're signing with motivated sellers, you're going to give yourself a time frame of 30 to 45 days. Okay, 30 to 45 days. Now, when you sign a purchase contract with your buyer, you're going to give them 7 to 10 days to close on the contract. Now, if you go to free download I was telling you about, this right here will give you what's called a BC contract. That's between, AB is between A, your seller, A, your seller, and B, which is you. You're B, okay? Now, a BC is you. You're always B, and C is your buyer. So this is the contract. You can download this contract, and this contract is the contract between you and your buyer. Let me try to prop this up again. Okay, so now once you do that, you're going to have a contract now with your buyer. Let me see if whoa. This thing is a pain. Phone's about to die, and I got it plugged in, but the thing is at the bottom. Let me show you what a contract looks like. I'm going to find it for you here. How it works. Down. Okay, here's our contract right here. Right here. So if you see right there, it's acknowledged there by a receipt of $2,500, and that is a non-refundable deposit. This is agreement to sell. They have their information, city, state, zip, and here's the thing: is that they have on this 7 days right here. They have 7 days to close the transaction. 7 days to close the transaction when they sign this. Okay, and their contact information, and then boom, proration taxes. So this is the purchase contract that my buyers essentially download. Okay, they download that, send it back to us via fax, or we use a DocuSign service that they can send it back. Well, the thing keeps falling. Sorry. But anyway, so the bottom line is this: is that they fill out that contract and they send it back. And they have 7 days. So you have a contract with your seller that's 30 to 45 days, a contract with your buyer, which is 7 days. Obviously, that's a faster time frame. You're going to close within your closing time frame of your seller and your seller transaction. Okay. So now let me. Now, when we talk about now that we opened up escrow, they have their information. Now we have to locate the buyer. Okay, we open up escrow. The title company went out, do their work. Now, what we want to do as fast as humanly possible is we want to do a couple different things. Now, I'm going to give you a couple techniques today, and I'm going to give you a super ninja technique tomorrow. If you can't sell your property, I'm going to tell you what to do and how to do it and to sell it quick. But there's a couple, 2-3 techniques today I want to be able to talk to you about. Now, the first one is bandit signs. Now, people say bandit signs, and I'm not saying putting bandit signs all around the fine sellers. What I'm saying is you want to put bandit signs to sell the property. And you're going to put, fixer upper for sale, cash only, and then your phone number, 3-bed, 2-bath, whatever. And you're going to put it, now, if the property's vacant, you can put it in front of the property. If the property is occupied with a tenant or an owner-occupant, you don't want to put it in their front yard. That probably wouldn't be smart, would it? So what you're going to do is you're going to put it strategically around the neighborhood. You're going to put it entrance into the neighborhoods and major corners. You're going to put it around the area so when someone is out looking, typically what cash buyers do is they buy properties in similar areas. They're going to be driving around the neighborhoods. They're going to see your sign and they're going to call you. Now, what we want to do is we want to build what's called a buyer's list, okay, an email buyer's list. Now, an email buyer's list is where you can press, I'm going to show you what it looks like, preview. Okay, this right here, basically right here, is the email that went out to our buyers. /price, information, here's the price, make an offer, here's another property, Pioneer Circle Mesa, another property right here, another property right here, okay? Now what happens is this went out to 31,471 people that are on buyers list. So what you want to do is when a buyer calls in off your bandit sign, you want to get their name, their phone number, and you want to get their email address so you can build an email list. Now, there's bulk email services that will allow you to add names to a database and be able to send one click, and it will go out to 31,000 people. It will go out to 20,000, 15,000, 10,000 people, whatever the number is, 200 people, 100 people. You want to start from somewhere, and your main focus when it comes to wholesaling and selling properties quickly is to build an email database. Now, you can use like MailChimp, right? You can use Constant Contact. You can use, now MailChimp's free up to the first 2,000. This thing is sliding again because I'm typing. Let me show you what MailChimp is. This is MailChimp right here at MailChimp. See the chimp? MailChimp.com. So this is MailChimp where you can actually go out and you can sign up for free. And I think it'll up to, you can send 2,000 bulk emails, right, for free through this service. Anything over 2,000, then it'll cost you, it's like $20 a month or something like that. It's pretty cheap. So the cool thing is that you can build an email database of buyers. That is your number one most important thing you want to focus on when it comes. Now, the cool thing is the property will pull the buyers. The property will pull the buyers. So when you put out your bandit signs, they're going to call in, take their name, their phone number, and their email address, and then put them into MailChimp, and then you're going to start building your buyers list. It's going to start with 5 people, then 10, then 15, then 20. Then you're going to have 200, then 300. Then a year from now, you're going to have 1,000. You're going to press a button on an email for a property. It's going to go out to 1,000 people. Your phone is going to ring off the hook, especially if it's a good deal, and you will sell properties in a matter of minutes if it's a good deal. If the deal sucks, it might sit there a little while. You might have to reduce it, just like we saw on some of our properties. But if it's a smoking deal, it's going to fly off the shelf by one press of a button because it's going out to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people fairly quickly. So the first start is bandit signs. Calls coming in, get their name, get their telephone number, get their email address. Very, very important. Number 2, right, is Craigslist. You want to be able to post an ad on Craigslist, okay? Let me see if I can. Oops. You fell over. So let me find. Okay. Here's an example. I'm going to show you an example Craigslist ad. Example Craigslist ad, okay? It says must sell, high equity, retail 150, wholesale 105. So that's at 70% ARV. There's a simple description right here. Here's the terms: retail price 150, your price 105, terms cash, close in 10 days or less. And then keywords: must sell, fixer-upper, deep discount, equity, cheap house, fast close, below market. And then make sure you add plenty of pictures of the property. And you can add your phone number in there so people can call you or people can email back to get information. I recommend putting your name for sure. So that Craigslist ad, right, post 2 to 3 times a week will crush. You'll get buyers that search on Craigslist looking for deals, and what's that going to do? What do you when they call in? What are you going to get? Their name, their telephone number, and their email address, and you're going to add them to your list. Now, if you consistently do that, you're going to build a buyers list very, very, very quickly. Now, and it's done for free. Bandit signs you can stick out there. You don't have to stick 10,000 of them out. You can stick maybe 50 to 60 of them out around the neighborhood. You're going to get, your phone's going to ring off the hook. You can put an ad on Craigslist 2 or 3 times a week, and you can do that, and your phone is going to ring off the hook. Those are buyers that are calling in. Now, what happens is a buyer, their first thing is going to say, hey, is the property still available? And what you're going to say, yes, it is, but holy cow, my phone has been blowing up, and I don't know if it's going to be available for long because I got a ton of people who are calling me on this property. Okay, so here's the deal. It's what's called creating urgency. If you call up, right, a buyer calls up and said, hey, is the property still for sale? And they go, yeah, it's still for sale. I only got a couple calls on it. So yeah, if you're interested, can you can definitely buy it from me. No. You want to create urgency, scarcity. So what you do is the buyer calls them and said, hey, I just wanted to see if that property is for sale. Yeah, holy cow, man, I can tell you, I just put this thing out there and my phone is blowing up. I got people going down there left and right now. I work on a first come, first served basis to, get down there as soon as you can, look at the property, obviously if it's vacant, and then let me know ASAP if you want it, because this sucker's going to go quick. Now, if you do that with a buyer, what's going to happen? They're going to jump. They're going to, holy cow, whatever they're doing right now is going to be put on the side burner, and they're going to rush to go see the property. So you can create what's called urgency. Urgency is going to get the buyer to jump to go look at the property. It's almost like, I talk about a brownie. Right? There's two ways to promote or represent a brownie. Let's say you go to a bakery and you talk to the baker behind the bakery there, and you said, hey, got any brownies? I'm looking for some brownies. Got any brownies for sale? And then the lady goes, yeah, here's a brownie. There's no excitement in her voice. Here's a brownie, and if you want it, you can buy it if you want. Okay? Now, does that get you wanting to buy the brownie? Does that get you going, I gotta have that brownie, right? Or, that's one. And there's some people that are listening right now that they're low energy, they talk slow, and they go, yeah, you can have a brownie if you want. I got one, there's one that's here, you can have, well, you got a bunch of them in here, you can pick one if you want. No enthusiasm, they're not excited. Or, you walk into a bakery and you go, hey, I was just looking for some brownies. And the lady goes, brownies? Are you kidding me? Today is the perfect day. You just came in because we made our special one-of-a-kind batch. My great-great-great-grandmother created a recipe that has been handed down for generations about this moist brownie, and we make them once a year, and you happen to walk in today, right? And these brownies are so moist, they're so chocolatey, it's like absolutely nothing you have ever had in your entire life. I'm telling you, this is the brownie of all brownies. Once you take a taste of this brownie, I can tell you, you'll be telling all your friends, everybody you know, of how great this brownie is. But here's the situation. We have such a mad rush earlier of people coming in just wanting these brownies. We've got one brownie left. Do you want it? And what's going to happen? If you walked into a bakery and you had someone going, yeah, we got plenty of brownies, you want a brownie? Or walked in and they said that, grandmother's brownie, last one they make once a year, there is no way you're going to buy, give me everything you got. There's only one, okay, I'll take it, right? Same thing with real estate, right? You got to make your property sound amazing. So when a buyer calls in and goes, yeah, we haven't sold yet, I'm trying to get it sold. So I call him and said, oh my gosh, holy cow, this thing, my phone is melting. I can't even as soon as I get off and get back on, we got people running down there. This thing is going to go quick. Listen, if you want it, it's first come, first serve. You got to get me an offer ASAP. You got to run down there. Now the buyer's getting off the phone. He's jumping. He's like, holy cow, you kidding me? I got to run down there and get an offer on this thing ASAP. That is creating urgency. It's moving people into action. Okay? So the bottom line is how you talk to buyers. Now, they go, I want to look at the property. How can I get in? If it's vacant, what you want to do when you're talking to the seller, say, listen, I've got to get my file in order. I've got to get contractors in here. I got to get my cash buyers in here. I've got to get my partners in here. And I want to get my file in order so we can get this transaction closed. So what I'd like to do, Mr. Seller, assuming it's vacant, I would like to put the property on a lockbox. I'll give you the code for it, and then I can have a contractors come in here and look at the property, and then they'll have easy in and out access. It's only people that I know that will come here and look at the property, or that I've talked to. So what happens is, if it's vacant, you want to try to get it on the lockbox if you can. That's the fastest way to do it. The other two ways is if it's tenant occupied or if the owner's there. If it's tenant occupied, you have to get permission from the owner to talk to the tenant. So you get the tenant's phone number and information, and then you want to go talk to the tenant. Say, listen, we're in the process of purchasing this property. We don't know exactly what we're going to do with the property, but we very well could be in a situation where you could continue to rent from us. So what we'd like to do is be able to show the property to some of our financial partners, some contractors, so we can get an idea of what we want to do with the property. So what I'd like to be able to do is give you a call and give you like a heads up notice. Give me an hour. What's the best time we can coordinate, Mr. Tenant, to be able to get some of these people in? Now, what you want to do is schedule a time. What we typically do is we schedule like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we will get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people there at the house at one time. So then you can get a lot of eyeballs on the property quickly instead of having a ones and twosy type of showing of these different buyers. I can tell you, coordinating with tenants and coordinating with sellers is a difficult process, and what you want to do is keep the tenants away from your buyers, and you want to instruct your buyers prior to going in, especially with tenants that say, listen, the tenant's going to be here, go in and walk around the house, okay? Write your numbers, but if you want to talk anything about the price, anything about the property, anything about the terms, wait till we're outside, away from the tenant, before you discuss anything. Is that understood? You have to prep your buyer prior to taking them down on the appointment, okay? Same thing. Now, the third one is if it's owner-occupant. What if you have an owner that's living in the house and you've got to get buyers into the house to look at the property? What do, right? Well, in that particular case, you have to call, do the same thing. You can have 4 or 5 or 6 people come down there at one time, or you can do onesie twosie, where you're going to call the seller, right, and say, hey, listen, I've got a couple of people come down, and we're going to come look at the property, get some more information about it, kind of figure out what we want to do with the property. When's a good time? Oh, you can come down at 4 o'clock. Perfect. 4 o'clock will work. You schedule it with your buyer, and then you go down there. Now, you tell your buyer, and you say, listen, before we're going down there, the owner is there, okay? What I'd like you to do is walk through the entire property, get all your information, get all your numbers, everything you want to do. I'm going to be talking to the seller. If you have any questions about the property, any questions about the terms, the conditions, the sale, anything like that, wait till you're outside, talk to me outside alone, away from the seller, and then we can be able to talk terms and negotiation. Is that understood? And get a buy-in from them up front. If you just go down there are dumb buyers. I've had stupid buyers that walk in and go, well, I can't give you 68 for it, but I can give you 62 right in front of a seller, and I got a contract with the seller for $40,000, right? Okay, boom. You don't want that to happen. You don't want the buyer to negotiate with you in front of your seller. You don't want to have that happen, right? So you've got to prep them or position them or educate them prior to coming down. Say, listen, any communication, any type of negotiation, anything about the property you want to learn, do it outside, away from the seller, and keep it out. Yes, I do not talk anything in front of the seller at all about the property. You come to me and talk to me. And if you do that, every single time I have done that, I've never had a problem with a buyer. All right. Here's this Craigslist ad. Okay. Now I'm going to show you where you can get it for free. You guys want this for free? You want this for free? Want this for free? All right. Boom. There you go. Free, the ultimate Craigslist for attracting hundreds of cash buyers. Yep. Okay. So you go to flip2freedom.com/Craigslist. Craig, C-R-A-I-G, Craigslist. Make sure you put the www in front right there, Craigslist. Flip2Freedom.com/Craigslist. Write that down. There'll be a replay of this up on Flip2Freedom.com that you can watch if you're maybe driving in your car or something like that and you can't write it down. We'll have this up for you. Do you cloud the title prevent from going back behind you? No. Typically, the only time we cloud the title with a memorandum of sale is when the seller we believe is going south. So Flip2Freedom.com/Craigslist. Okay, and you get to download that this right here, which is the Craigslist ad, for free. And that's the Craigslist ad with the terms and stuff like that. I think in the ring for sure. And here's the thing. No problem. Here's the thing: is that I surveyed my list and I asked them my buyers list, my email buyers list, and I asked them. I said, "Hey, I said, what is the biggest reason you buy?" And I asked them. I said, "Is it equity? Is it cash flow? Is it location of the property? What's the biggest? What's the thing?" And the number one reason, you're welcome, the number one reason buyers buy is equity. So if you see on here, right, if you see on our Craigslist, it says must sell, huge equity, and you give a retail value 150, wholesale value 105, and then down here, retail value 150, your price 105. So there's instant equity in the property. And I think we talked about real estate's one of the only vehicles that you can buy at huge discounts at such big numbers. For an example, you go to the stock market, you can't buy Facebook right now at 50% of value. I think what's Apple, like at 126 or something like that, if I remember correctly. So you can't buy Apple at $60 a share. You can't do it, but you can buy a $126,000 house for $60,000. You can do it by targeting the right motivated seller. So what that's going to do is putting the ad's going to get buyers to call. And how do you figure out the retail price? Yesterday I talked about comping the property, and we talked about the high comps, and we talked about the low comps. So if you watch yesterday's episode, go to Flip2Freedom.com. I specifically show you how to pick the retail value of the property, the high comps in a specific area, and that will give you an idea of what the retail value is. Okay, so good question. But anyway, so the bottom line is now you're in a situation where you have buyers calling. Now you're going to negotiate with the seller. This question comes up all the time from buyers. No problem. From people. Do I have the seller or the buyer sign an assignment, or do I have them sign a purchase contract? What do I do? How do I do it? You always negotiate a purchase contract for the price of the property at all times. Do not have this buyer sign right there an assignment agreement. Because what happens is you have an assignment agreement, right? An assignment agreement is going to reveal your profit immediately to your buyer in the midst of negotiation. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a property under contract for $60,000. You're selling it for $80,000. You're talking to the seller, you're talking to the buyer, and the buyer goes, "I'll take it. It seems like a good deal." I say, "Great. How would we want to close it?" And I said, "Well, I want to do an assignment. Let's do an assignment on the deal." I said, "Great. What's your assignment fee?" And you say, "Well, I got under contract for 40. My assignment fee's for 20 grand." And then the buyer goes, "Okay, sounds good. Well, let me go back and look at the property a little more." And the buyer comes back and says, "Well, the roof is a little bit more, needs more work, and the AC, is something I missed. So, you really have to make 20 grand on this deal. I'm going to take all the risk. I'm going to buy the property. I'm going to put up the money. I'm going to 20 grand. That's a big, can we get down to more like $10,000, and that would work better for me?" So what happens is doing an assignment and negotiating your assignment up front is the wrong way to go, because what the buyer's going to do is see the profit you're making, and he's going to count your money, and he's going to try to negotiate your assignment fee down. So I never go in with a buyer and ever talk about assignment or assignment fee. I go in and negotiate a purchase contract, and that's the purchase contract I gave you at Flip2Freedom.com/Flip2 free stuff, the BC contract there. And you always negotiate the purchase contract because of this, okay? Is that you don't have to worry about them knowing your price, right? Knowing your spread to try to negotiate that. All you're negotiating now is the price of the house, $80,000, right? So now they go, well, $80,000, I don't know if it's going to work. You say, listen, pal, I got 6 other people coming down to look at the house. It's a first come, first serve. $80,000 is a smoking deal. My phone's been blowing up. You know what? I'll sell this thing, by today. So if you don't want it, that's fine, no problem. But my price is $80,000. Take it or leave it. Okay, that's how I am with my buyers, especially if I got a smoking deal. So the bottom line now in this particular situation is that now he has a choice for $80,000. Now you're negotiating the price of the house. You're negotiating the price versus your profit. It's a big difference. Now it's the price of the house versus your profit. It's very difficult to justify why you believe you think you should make $20,000, but it's very easy to justify comps and price of the house that you're selling it for to a buyer. So what I do is I get a contract from my buyer with a $2,500 non-refundable deposit. The check is made out to the title company, and I typically get a cashier's check. I get same-day money, and that enables the title company to process that and give me a receipt for earnest money. Once I have that, then if I decide to do an assignment, then I'll have the title company prepare the nominee or the assignment agreement with my buyer after the fact. Now, if the buyer goes, hey, you're making $20,000 on this deal, the roof needs this. I said, listen, pal, you got $2,500 non-refundable. You signed a contract that we have for $80,000. You know what? If you renege, right, I keep your $2,500 and I got some backup buyers for this property. Or you can move forward with a commitment that you made to purchase this property for $80,000. What do you want to do? So in that particular case, I'm going to keep their $25,000. I'm going to keep it. If they want to bail out on it, right, I'll keep their $25,000. Now, I don't want to do that, but it happens if you have a flaky buyer. It happens. So, been talking. Anyways, so the bottom line is that you make sure you get the purchase contract first. Get non-refundable earnest money. Then if you want to go down the assignment route, you can. All right. So how's it going? You guys getting this? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about using a ninja tool to literally get your property out in front of thousands and thousands of eyeballs, which is pretty killer. All right. I want to make sure you got your free stuff. You got all this stuff. Okay. So we've got... All right, so we've got free stuff, right? That's for your contracts and your script. This is free download. This is your Craigslist, and that's the Craigslist. You can find the contracts right here, bud, right here. Free download, the AB contract, BC contract, and seller script. Right there, the comp calculator is right here. Flip2Freedom comp calculator, and that's what you're looking for. And it says comp calculator. The connection's breaking. I'm going to take this out right here, see if that works. You got that. Now, also, too, okay, about the so the $1,000 winner, someone's asking about that. Okay, tomorrow, $1,000 winner in part 4. And you're going to follow me on Periscope, share the broadcast, share it. If you have an iPhone, swipe to the right and share it. If you have an Android, swipe up and you can share it. Tweet about the show using hashtag Flip2Freedom. Flip2Freedom, Flip2Freedom. And I will pick a $1,000 winner. Yes, all of this, part 1, part 2, and part 3 will be up on, this is part 2. That was yesterday we talked about. This is part 1, oops, right there, part 1, and this is part 2, and part 3 will be up a little bit later. Do you have an Instagram? Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. Flip2Freedom.com. Instagram is my handle. Everything's Flip2Freedom. So if you go to Flip2Freedom, you can read my book, you can download this information, the training, all the stuff. But my Is wholesaling multifamily properties in the same process as paperwork? Yes. The only difference is you're dealing with tenants, and you have to get lease audits on the properties, and that's it. Yeah, is it okay to use Craigslist ad if you can't afford banner signs? Absolutely, most definitely. Use Craigslist to build your buyer's list, get the property under contract. Absolutely, most definitely. I would definitely do that for sure. So for sure. So yeah, all this will be on Flip2Freedom, Flip2Freedom.com. Now, I want to tell you this. Hey, Sean, I'm having tax delinquent list. Do you prefer high LTV or low LTV? On a tax delinquent list, I prefer, a low LTV or a high LTV. Do I have a high LTV or low LTV? That's kind of a weird question, because your loan to value, I want to have a lot of equity, right? So I guess is that a high LTV, right? Connection's still breaking. I'm on Wi-Fi. So starting off, how long should it take you to get your first deal? I got my first deal in 3 weeks. I've had people get their first deal in 8 days. Would you run a Craigslist ad to a ghost ad? Yes, you can run a Craigslist ad for a ghost ad if you want to. That can get you deals. Mentor program. I do have a mentor program that's currently quasi-closed right now. So do you have a podcast on acquiring, flipping multifamily? We do. If you search in iTunes under podcast, I do have a multifamily. I had someone on that came in and talked about multifamily flipping. Multifamily is a killer niche, and I definitely would do that. What would you do if you had no money for marketing at all? Okay, great question. When I first got started, I was broke, right? So what I did is I got a very small list, and I went out and I knocked on pre-foreclosure doors. Okay, I went out and knocked on pre-foreclosure. I went out and knocked on doors, right? And what I did is I knocked on doors that were about 2 to 3 weeks away from going to trustee sale. We just got a deal this morning. I had one of my guys go out and knock on. I gave him a list of about 130 people. He went out and knocked on 10 doors, came back, and we got a deal we're tying up right now where the seller owes 68. The house is worth 160, and we're buying it for about $80,000 on this particular deal. But he went out and knocked on door. The foreclosure date is in July, mid-July sometime, and we're able to tie up that property. So that is a great way that you can go do that. Another way is get the same list, it's very small list that we talked about, and I showed that in episode 1. Where can you get the list? Go back and watch episode 1, or go back and watch right there. That's 1. It's at Flip2Freedom. Flip2Freedom.com, and if you go under home or blog up here, you'll be able to see that, and I show you exactly the perfect list to door knock. Perfect list to door knock. So you can go knock on the doors, and it comes back, and you can get smoking deals because no one's touching those. Listen, I'm in the most competitive market in the entire country, okay? I don't believe in competition, okay? They have McDonald's on one corner, they have a Wendy's on another corner, they have a Burger King on the other corner, and they have a Carl's Jr.'s on the other corner. So get competition out of your mind. I've been in Phoenix, and I teach this stuff. I have a podcast that I share everything, right? And I've had people tell me, say, why do you share all your best information? It's just going to create competition, You know what? I'm still doing more deals than anybody in this marketplace here in Phoenix, and I'm still teaching everything I know. The new beach sitting on the website is nice shots. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Pretty cool. How could I find a customer related to sports uniforms? How can I find a costume related? I don't know. What books are you currently reading? What books am I currently? I'm going through a lot of Anthony Robbins stuff right now. He has some great stuff that I have previously read, and now I'm going through and reading. He has like an audio series, the Edge audio series. I'm kind of diving into right now, and I listened to it a while back, but I'm getting back into Tony Robbins stuff because the guy is just phenomenal. He's such a great performance type of coach type of person. I really like him a lot and what he teaches, his motivation and excitement and stuff like that. So it's awesome. So I'm kind of diving into his stuff right now. If you want a great all-around business book, Traction by Gino Winkman is a phenomenal book. It's one of the best books I've ever read. If you want about spiritual laws and success, The Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn is phenomenal. I've read it a lot. And yeah, beast. Yeah, but the bottom line is that would an absentee list be a good list to get started with? Go to the list, go back and watch episode 1, go to flip2freedom.com and definitely watch that for sure. Because I give you a killer list that you can target. Rebo Gateway list or list source. I would do Rebo Gateway to first, and then if you can afford Find Motivated Sellers Now, those are the couple lists I'd touch on. Do you need an LLC to flip houses? No, I will go out and flip a house and then make some cash and then spend the $250 to get an LLC for sure. Don't, people want to go, I've got to get all set up. I'm not about getting all set up. I'm not about getting all the ducks in a row. I'm about shooting the ducks and just going to work, okay? And going to work is your highest and best use of what we do is talking to motivated sellers or talking to cash buyers. That's it. So if you're not talking to motivated sellers, if you're not on the appointment talking to motivated sellers, then or talking to buyers to sell a property, then you're not doing the right activity in this business, right? Getting the list, sending the mailers out as fast and getting those things coming in and calling in and talking, that's the best thing you can do in this business. I mean, I've got my sales guys out on sales calls with them. I've got Jerry Beth in there. She's answering phones from motivated sellers we got coming in. I got Brandon out there. He's out there selling properties we have. And I've got Falcon out there knocking on pre-foreclosure doors, getting deals. So, the cool thing is once you get to, you build your business to a certain point, you can hire other people to go out and crank it out. Virtual wholesaling, definitely. I have virtual wholesale properties all across the entire country. It's phenomenal. And the cool thing about the Flip2Freedom, about the Flip2Freedom Academy, is that I work with students through Flip2Freedom. We have people that submit contracts to us, and then my team gets on and we work with them and help. We have connections all across the entire country, and we help people get properties sold and walk them through the process, and we split profits 50-50. And it's awesome. So we do deals, and pretty much we just closed a deal in Nebraska, just one in Oklahoma. We got one in Missouri that we're working on right now. So virtual wholesaling is great. What I tell people to do in U.S. only, U.S. Haven't done anything out. What time will we start tomorrow? I don't know what time you guys want to start. What's a good time for you guys? Chirp, chirp, chirp. 1 o'clock. Okay, let's do 1 o'clock tomorrow. So 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 p.m. And let's do 1 p.m. Well, this one says 3 o'clock, noonish. Let's do 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Is that good? You guys, 6 o'clock Eastern? It says, my postcard's getting up before my website. Is that okay? Don't even worry about your website. Don't even worry about your website until you still got revenue coming in. Here's the thing. When you first get started, right, you want to focus on getting a direct list, getting mail out as fast as possible. And then as you progress and as you grow, then you start putting on different marketing channels. Is there yell at it? Yes. Go to gobigprinting.flip2freedom. I'll show you real quick. Go big. See this? Go Big Printing. gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom. gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom. And if you go enter, I basically set this up so you can create a free account, right? Free account. You can log in. You can create your own free account, and you scroll down here, you go to direct mail, go up here, and you see letters right here. Here's the letter that we use right here. And you can do that. Yeah, CallRail is amazing. Yeah, it's pretty killer. So So that you can use this. Go to gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom. I set it up where you guys get free access. So you can get your letters out. All I'm asking you guys to do is go out when you make a big old check. Just tag me on Facebook or something. Do you use a proof of funds? Nope, never use a proof of funds with motivated sellers. And I give them a $10 earnest money deposit. Where can you find 1 and 2? You can find 1 and 2. Go to Flip2Freedom, Flip2Freedom.com, Flip2Freedom.com, and there is 1, and there's part 2. There's part 1, and there's part 2. Part 3 will be up, and it's all the information. If you click in, it has all the links and all the information to get going on there. It's also, but you can find it on Flip2Freedom.com, which is cool. So what you guys got? Letters or postcards? Postcards get a better response. So if you're going to mail, and you're going to mail a very niche list, like 100, 200, 300, mail, and like if you're going to do pre-foreclosures with tax defaults that we kind of showed you in the first episode there, send them a yellow letter. If you're going to do a larger mailing, 3, 4, 5, 6,000, 10,000, send a postcard. How long should you mail a list for? Mail the list every 60 days. Over and over and over again. We mail, I mean, I've got a list we mail over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So definitely mail them over and over again. So because think about it. Well, I'll give you an example. If you continue to mail, right? So the first mailing comes in and the wife gets the mail. She looks at the postcard or the letter, throws it in the trash, says, I'm not ready to sell. 2 months down the road, the husband gets that, and the wife and the husband are going through a little issues, right? They're on the verge of whatever. So the husband gets it, and he looks at the postcard, and he thinks about it, and he goes, we're good. Then 2 months down the road, guess what? They get another letter, and they look at it again, and they go, well, now their marriage is on the rocks, they're pending a divorce. So now the wife hangs on to the letter of the postcard. Then a month down the road, guess what? Now the husband gets the mail again and looks at it and goes, you know what? It's time to sell. We got to sell. I've seen these guys for the past 3 months, 4 months. I'm calling these guys. Not every month, every 60 days. Tax default sometimes, but no tax default. Some tax default, there's a 3-year window. So you can hit those tax default for 3 years straight, and guess what? Eventually get those people. Should letters be handwritten? If you go to gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom, they're handwritten in there. When I started and I was broke and I first got started, I hand wrote letters myself. I wrote 25 a night, right? 5 days a week, and I'd send them out, and I got calls coming in from sellers, and I got a deal, and then I reinvested 15% back in the marketing. How do you find the highest motivated zip codes? Well, it's not the highest motivated zip codes. It's hard to find the highest motivated zip codes. You can go after the sellers of a motivation, right? They could be tax default, they could be pre-foreclosure, they could be inheritance, whatever. You can go after a specific situation or a distress situation, but the only way you can find a high motivated area is look at what cash buyers are buying in a specific area. And you can do that through ListSource. I actually think we have, let me see if I can find this for you. I did a podcast with Joe McCall, and I'm looking for this for you. Okay. Here you go. Episode 117. It's with a guy named Joe McCall, great guy. He wholesaled, Joe McCall, virtually 6 deals. And he shows you how to find the high cash transaction areas in that particular area, and that's Joe McCall. So it's pretty killer. You'll like it. It's he basically breaks down how to use ListSource to find that for free. Envelopes, if you use like gobigprinting.com, the envelopes are invitation style envelopes. So they're like little square envelopes that like an invitation, like you're getting an invitation to a wedding, and then has a live stamp and it's handwritten on there, and they'll get, see, it's what happens, the seller is going, hey, looks like I got an invitation for a birthday, and it's you in there wanting to purchase a house. So that works really well. Site again, Flip2Freedom. Which site are you looking for? Flip2Freedom? Flip2Freedom.com. Do you need a proof of funds to make cash offers on MLS? Yes. On MLS, you're going to need proof of funds, but I'm talking about finding motivated sellers. It's in a distressed situation where you can tie up a property for $10 and you don't need proof of funds. Okay. I would move to REO properties and MLS properties as you get some more experience. As you get more experience, you can. Print site? Okay. You want the print site. Hold on a sec, bud. Let me get that for you. Go big. Here you go. There you go. Go big. So it's like gobigprinting.com, Flip2Freedom, and it will look like this. So gobigprinting.com/Flip2Freedom. So hope that helps you. gobigprinting.com/Flip2Freedom. Would you recommend realflow.com for squeeze page and leads? No, I recommend oncarrot.com. OnCarrot, let me show you where you can get that. Go here. Go to flip2freedom.com right here and go to resources, where it says resources right there. Click that. And I have all these killer resources for you guys for free. So you can join the newsletter here. Website creation tool. This is OnCarrot. Right here, you can check that out. Pay-per-click advertising, direct mail services. These are all the list companies we target. Direct mail services, right? Skip trace services, branded marketing, get response email marketing, Podio customer service, Slack, Todoist. These are productivity tools. Real estate virtual assistants, top 10 recommended books, Traction, Money Masters, all these are great. But if you go right here, OnCarrot right here is probably the best website creation tool that I know for real estate investors, right here. And it looks like this, OnCarrot. And it basically creates real estate investor tools. And if you go on Flip2Freedom under the resources there, I got a $1 trial. You can try it out for $1. But it's pretty cool. That's what we use in our trainings and stuff like that. Facebook retargeting ads? Yes. And what we do is we retarget on Google, right? And we retarget on Facebook for motivated sellers. I'm 20 years old. No one thinks a kid like me can buy houses. Okay. Age, don't worry about age. I got a kid here in Phoenix, and we have a meetup group that meets here locally in Maricopa County, Phoenix here, every month. And there's a kid called Jalen here, and he is killing. He made 20 grand last month. The guy looks like he's 15 years old, and he does not let age get in the way. That's a mentality thing that you got to get over. The bottom line is you're providing a solution for a motivated seller. The way you position it is you say, listen, I am backed by a huge company looking to buy houses, and he's actually 15. Yeah, exactly. Just say I'm backed by a huge company, or I'm backed by a guy with some deep pockets, and I'm out here looking to help people in situations and help them get deals. So that's how you, instead of going, hi, I'm 20 and I'm going to buy your house, they're going, what are you talking about? But you say, listen, I'm backed by a gigantic firm, or I'm backed by an investor looking, and I'm going out there to hunt deals down. So, thanks, man. Cool. Whew. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to the gym. I didn't get to work out this morning. Academy's open right now. There will be spots open If you go to Flip2Freedom products, let me check. Actually, it's currently sold out. We'll be opening up soon. Just watch your email. Think and Grow Rich. Love Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich rocks. So cool. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. And what do you think of LA market wholesale? I got a big buyer that all he does is look at buys in LA. He's going to give me specific zip codes in LA. So reach out to our support, and I'll get you those zip codes so you can start targeting mail there and potentially help us find properties for this day. Later, man. Thank you, guys. God bless. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's do 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And thanks, guys, for being here. I want you guys to take this information, go out and get amazing success. Tomorrow I'm going to pick the winner for the $1,000 giveaway. And tomorrow I am going to, we're going to go through a killer ninja tool to go out and get your property in front of a bunch of eyeballs really quickly. And also too, I am going to talk about the closing process. I'm going to show you a HUD-1 statement and the closing document so you kind of understand what that works. So you can see actually what it looks like, the documents to actually get a check. So you understand it. But I want you guys to take this information and apply it and go out and get some big checks. And then I'm going to change your life. So if you can get this stuff down, man, it can literally change your life. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a phenomenal rest of your evening. Take care, and God bless.